Monkeys
Who is
together strong.
What? Are you
Monkey divide
Shut the
weak.
fuck up, Ray.
Yeah, well, that's I think about that a lot from someone who's against it from their point of view, and I can't really give an like it's just something about you just have to do it. There's something about providing your own food and taking the life of another animal. I don't take it lightly. It's something that I really take seriously, and I think about it each time I'm about to shoot a deer. Do I really want to kill this thing or not? Because it has a life. I don't want to. I want to use all of its meat. I don't want to kill it just to have a bad shot and then it die and then me not find it. So it's something that I think about a lot, and I guess one argument you can make is if you eat meat from the store, that animal had worse of a life than the deer. It was, grown up in some pen eating corn or something like that with not a real field or most likely not a real field or anything like that. And it had to die too. So it's just whether you're doing the act of killing it. And it's something that I really take a lot of thought into and a lot of pride in, that I've never had a badly wounded deer or something like that. And I guess you just have to experience it to, provide for yourself and to go out and to chase it and to put all the hours in throughout the season. And it's just an experience that you can't really explain unless you do it.
It's so crazy, right? Like think about it. Like every time you go to the grocery store and you get food, like there's so many steps like before that has to like really work in order for you to get that processed meat of a particular part of an animal. And like
Yeah.
everything else is like although you're paying for it, like your money is kind of like the value, the effort you're putting into like earning the food, but you're like if apocalypse, I don't know why, but like I have this weird, it's not a fetish, but it's like a thing that goes on in my head. I always think like apocalypse is gonna happen. And I legit have this small bag of things that I'm like prepared. Like I have mushrooms and stuff in it because like you can like like if in the wild you have nothing, you can like just use your poop and like grow mushrooms and stuff, and you can like
Oh
live
yeah.
forever. So I always like fantasize about that scenario, and I think it's so cool that you can just like get your own food with like bow and arrow and like the only thing, yeah, I sometimes because I really want to start hunting, but like I sometimes like try to imagine, but I probably can't. Is like the moment when you kill an actual life because like I've stepped on ants before, but that's like a totally different probably.
Yeah.
But how is it different though?
You can make
Kind
that
of philosophical,
argument
Sean.
too.
But it's just a smaller version. It's like a small deer, just a little teeny tiny
Yeah, what do we think about that? Are all lives created equal?
I mean, I've thought about that a lot too. When I grew up, I would shoot squirrels in the backyard or like chipmunks and stuff when they get
And
in.
it's just society, you know.
It's kind
Yeah.
of weird.
No, it's just kind of one of those things. Like my dad did it. We would have squirrel eradication weekends up at our log cabin, and basically like my whole dad's side of family, we would go out in teams of two, and whoever can shoot the most wins. And like obviously, I think it's different than like smushing an ant to killing a squirrel to killing a deer is a lot different. I think you can make the argument that a life is a life, and that's true. But I think it's in my opinion, so many people like have scorched on ants and then make like turn around and go, oh, killing animals is like wrong. Um,
But it's
yeah,
almost always like a dare when you were like 2 years old and you'd be like, I want to prove myself I'm a man. And you like step on an ant and be like, yeah, something, you
You
know?
gotta kill
You
the
don't like
ant.
you don't like kill it for the thrill of like killing
But like,
it.
what if there's like a spider in your house? That thing's dead.
yeah,
Killing that
uh,
immediately.
Those
yeah, well,
roaches that can
yeah.
fly are different. All right.
Yeah. But I
Proceed. What
think
were you gonna say?
just one last thing. Like I said, I've thought about this more and more as I've started bow hunting, and I think like anytime when I'm about to draw back or something like that, I'm like, do I really want to do this? Like this isn't something to take lightly. This is taking some animal's life. Um, and I think, like I said, a lot of people that eat meat but don't like hunting, they can't really say, oh, that's wrong or something like that. But personally, I would rather eat the deer that's grown up free range in the wild, that's been eating all this natural stuff, than that cow that was pumped full of corn its
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I have like two things I want to say. Like the first one is like I think you pointed that out earlier too, is like the torture part. Like as long as it's a quick sudden death and like you appreciate like the food you get and you're gonna like make good use of it, I think it's fine. Like the criticism there's like one small village in China that eat dogs. Like that's the only part where people like genuinely like most people eat dogs is that one part of small village in like southeast China. And what they do, I feel like why they get criticized so much is not only that they're eating dogs and like many Western households like have dogs, it's also that they have this festival that they torture dogs for fun. They would just like throw the dog into like boiling water, and like there's a myth that the more you torture the dog, the better the meat is gonna taste. Like
Didn't
if
know that.
that's freaking disgusting. But like that's interesting because that's the only part where in China where people actually eat dogs and they decide to do it that way. I feel like if because like I think I know there are certain places in South America, I could be wrong, but like there's certain places, not in China, in the other places that they just have like dogs that are called meat dogs, where they just their only purpose is they're not pets, they're just like meat, like people eat them for meat, their meat, and they're
Yeah,
like
it's like the
domestic.
equivalent of like farming cows or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, they're like and they're like treated nicely, and they get a quick sudden death,
Mm.
and that's like a respected way for them to instead of like torturing them and thinking that it'll make the food taste better. And also like when you talk about like how like uh chickens are like corn fed, they're like I watched a film. I think I watched a film at there like one of the classes. I forgot which class was it, but they talk about like chicken farms and
I
how
think I watched the same
yeah,
one.
we all did. I think we all did. It's like how
Yeah.
chickens grow so fat because they have no sunlight. And like also like, pugachus, like they're genetically modified for people's like, you know, taste to be like stupid fat and like short legs and stuff. Like they're not
Huh.
functioning normally. So I feel like that's like one of part of the beauty of like hunting is like you do it yourself and it's like all natural and you have the appreciation and you have to have the knowledge in order to know what like what like the primal instinct as Joe Rogan would say,